How's it going, super friends? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Brad the DC Universe Geek, for those of you who didn't know. And finally, all 6 of the Mattel SHAZAM Family action figures based on the movie have thundered their way onto my channel, and I can do one great big mega review. Darla, Eugene, Pedro, Freddie, Mary, and Billy. Ah, wow, cool. All right, let's look at all the packaging quickly and then yank them out. So all of the packaging for these guys is pretty much the same, with Shazam here, logo here. All the figures come in the exact same bubble with a lightning bolt there, if you can see it there. Now, as for the backs of the blister bubble, they're gonna all be very, very similar, having an image of whichever figure it is that comes in the package, and then also a little pictorial demonstration of how to use each action figure's corresponding 7 Deadly Sin power slinger. And then, of course, it wouldn't be complete until they had images of the action figures that they didn't have in the package that you're opening, as well as a UPC code for each one, which you can see on the screen, all 6 right now. Take a screenshot because get them while they're gone. They're gone. Oh yeah, and each package also has air holes. Good thing. Wouldn't want the action figures to suffocate. Way to care about the action figures' well-being, Mattel. And now, let's get them all out. Shazam! Come on, Darla. And you, Freddie. And here they all are, out of the packaging, standing together for a family portrait out front of the trash heap. I'm sorry, but is it just me, or do these 7 deadly sins not really look very deadly? They all kind of look like they just want to cuddle. They look friendly. They look lovable. Look, Mary can even wear hers as a little monkey backpack. Nope, I'm not seeing deadly when I look at these. Honestly, it's just making me envious of the fact that Michael Jackson got to own a chimpanzee and I don't, although monkeys do throw crap everywhere. Never mind, I don't want to own a chimpanzee, but these are cute. Hang on, let's set up a better shot. Let's get this trash out of here. Oh god, that's a lot. Now that's a mess. Yep, they're everywhere. Ah, that looks better now, doesn't it? Mary, Freddie, Eugene, Billy, Darla, and Pedro, all with their corresponding sin that they come with. I gotta tell you, I'm not even gonna lie about this one. I'm actually really impressed I just named them all off like that. I've never been able to name off the 7 dwarfs. What are the 7 dwarfs' names? I've never been able to name them. Grumpy, silly, bashful, farty. Now, while there is an argument that can be made for the fact that these figures, at least the male figures, are pretty much the exact same sculpt, the same buck, it can also be said that they're not exactly totally the same on account of the fact that some of them are taller than the others. I'm sure in the computer they're the same. Okay, so you guys are really gonna hate me right now. Actually, Pedro, Eugene, and Freddie all have completely different body sculpts. They're not the same at all. I thought that they were just like larger or smaller and they did it in the computer. Nah, they didn't. They're completely different. Different lines and detail work. The only people that had the exact same body buck are Freddie and Billy. Everyone else, it's completely unique. Okay, let's go back to the video. Oh, by the way, there's another correction coming up too. I know, I'm an idiot. Oh yeah, and why didn't I just go back and refilm it and edit it? Because I wanted to use the VHS app. It's more fun. But I mean, clearly you can see that Billy and Eugene are different heights. I wonder if the rest of them are like that. I'm going to do a 2 Billy comparison. Yeah, they look like they're about the same. Is it the same details? No, they have different wrist cuffs there. As you can see, they're not exactly the same. Oh, that's one thing. And then we have, is this, let's see. Oh no, different wrist cuffs. Wait a minute. What's the size though? He's shorter. Okay, so we have shorter, medium. He looks like he's the same size as, I'm just going to double check. Yeah, same size. So we have 3 different height male body bucks here. Always someone falling over. As I was saying, 3 different size male body bucks. Again, they're the same, but they're different. And as previously stated, none of their forearm bracers are the same either. And you know what? Look at their boots. Yeah, look at that, the boots, they're all different. Well, not Freddie and Billy's, but Eugene and Pedro both have brand new boot sculpts, so they've employed 3 different male boot sculpts. So these aren't exactly just copies. What about the capes? Yep, even the capes are different. Well, not Freddie and Billy's. We're noticing a lot of the exact same parts sharing here, except for the forearms. But Eugene and Pedro's capes, they're completely unique to the figure as well. And also, while we're on the topic of capes, I think it's kind of interesting to point out that these capes, all the trim on these have been sculpted. You can see it's all sculpted detail on the bottom. And that looks quite fabulous. Each and every single one of them has been sculpted there, right on the bottom, which looks really, really cool. Of note, though, is the fact that the multiverse, although it's painted, it is in fact not sculpted. So which one's better? The one that has the sculpting or the one that has the painting? From the back, I like this one better. If I had steadier hands, I'd probably just paint it, but it is what it is. Wow, that's actually quite fabulous.
Whoops-a-daisy, I just wanted to point something out here that during the review process I happened to miss the fact that, well, just look at this. You'll notice during the review that Pedro and Eugene share a completely different upper leg compared to Billy and Freddie, who share the exact same upper leg. But you'll see more of that during the review. There's all kinds of images and pictures and stuff like that, so don't worry, you're not missing nothing.
And for the female characters, Mary and Darla, they don't share that many pieces, actually. I mean, yes, it's clearly evident that they share the same chest piece, and also superhero cape, but I think for the most part, that's pretty much it. Because these girls actually do not share the exact same wrist bracers. We can see that on both of these girls, they're a completely different sculpt. Nor do Mary and Darla share the same skirt. You can tell that they are completely different. I mean, Darla's wearing pants, and Mary isn't. I mean, that's a thing. Mary is wearing knee-high Shazam boots, while Darla, she's wearing what looks like some kind of Shazam running shoes, or high-top sneakers or something like that. So the sculpting detail for these figures really is quite fantastic. I mean, let's face it, these figures were designed for kids to play with. They know us collectors are going to buy them too, but they were designed for kids to play with, and these are fantastic. Between sculpting detail and paint app quality, these figures are a really good win for Mattel as far as putting something out there that collectors might like and kids will want to play with. Now, as far as facial likeness to each of the actors in question, first up, the beardly one is DJ Catrona portraying Pedro. And you know it's doing a good job when you don't even know who's actually playing Pedro in the movie until you look at the action figure and go, oh, that looks like DJ Catrona, who was supposed to play Superman in that failed Justice League movie, and bam! Oh, you look it up and it is. It's actually Pedro. I mean, maybe not so much with Grace Fulton, who plays Mary Marvel. That one doesn't quite look like her, but it also doesn't look terrible either. I just wouldn't look at this face and go, oh yeah, that's definitely Grace Fulton. I'd have no idea. I would just be like, oh, it's Mary Marvel. Next up, we have Freddie Freeman. This is a facial sculpt of Adam Brody, his adult version. I think it does a reasonable job of looking like him. His eye's kind of weird and wonky on the one side. Kind of looks like he might be a little bit drunk or baked, but other than that, I think it's a reasonable attempt at his face for a child's toy. Next up, we have Eugene being portrayed by Ross Butler. And you know what? They must be doing something right with this head sculpt, because much like with DJ Catrona's Pedro, I had no idea who was playing Eugene until I saw the action figure. Then I was like, whoa, that looks like the guy from 13 Reasons Why, and 13 More Reasons Why. Looked it up and sure enough, boom, that's who's playing him. Next up, we have the adult version of Darla Dudley being portrayed by actress Megan Good. Much like with the others, I think that Mattel has done a very reasonable job of capturing the actress's facial structure and likeness with the sculpting and the paint details. And then we have this one here, which is Billy, and it's obviously supposed to look like Zach Levy, and it does a pretty good job of looking like him just the same way that the one from the multiverse did. It's the exact same head sculpt, to be honest, just painted differently. I know some people aren't keen on the face he's pulling, but I really do see Zach Levy in there. It's not perfect, he looks maybe a little bit older, like he's in his late 40s, but it still kind of looks like him. Now, as we have seen, each one of these characters comes with one of their very own Power Slingers 7 Deadly Sins. Mary comes with Sloth, and before I get into actually slinging these guys, I want to point out how stretchy these guys are. And, you know, they don't feel like they're going to come apart. They actually feel fairly tough. Anyhow, this one here is Sloth. You probably can't even really see it. It's bright, and so are the lights. Boom! Freddy comes with Pride. Looks like this. Got a naked butt, bat wings, the whole bit. That's Pride. Poof! Darla comes with the four-armed greed statue. Same thing. Squishy, stretch them. Blah, 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 blah. You stick your finger in their hand, and booyah! Oh, he's stuck. Do you see that? He's stuck to the back there. That one's kind of sticky. The other two weren't. That one is just a little sticky. Billy comes with the Sin of Wrath. Much more bulkier and buffer and gorilla-like than the other ones. Got spikes on his back. And Billy gets it. Boom! Eugene comes with Gluttony. Oh, does he ever? Look at that big fat tummy. Little side note, gluttony doesn't just mean food. Gluttony is when you have pretty much anything in excess. You can not just be a food glutton. You can be, heck, you can be an action figure glutton. That's me. I'm definitely an action figure glutton, and I'm proud of it. That's what you get. And finally, Pedro comes with Envy. The final of the sins to come with these figures. Yeah, I wonder why Envy looks like this. I wonder what is so... Yeah, those, if we had to personify Envy... Ooh, I like his face the best, though. I wish you could really see it, but it's just hard to get the light to catch it. Anyway, that's Envy. Squishy, like the rest. Bammo! The 7 deadly sins made fast work of these guys. Wow, what a mess. That was fun, though. I can totally see how kids are going to absolutely love playing with these things and flicking them around. Oh, he's stuck again. Let's try another one. Let's see if we can get him to stick. Oh, and he's stuck. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. These stick. Oh, my God. I shouldn't. Why am I more excited about this than I probably should be? Look, all of them, absolutely all of them stuck to my background. These aren't even, they're not sticky. They're maybe a little sticky to the touch, but these are not sticky like your typical sticky wall Chucky toys. These are really cool. I really like those. So the articulation for these figures is going to be pretty much the same for all of them, except for a few places where it deviates a little bit from the norm. That means all of their heads are going to have a round and round motion, not really much else. I'm sure it's a ball peg, it's very tight and it doesn't really afford much movement. And if you're Mary Marvel, then your hair gets in the way and you have, sure, a good bit of round and round articulation, but, you know, again, nothing up and down. And look at that. I mean, her hair, I just want to point that out, her hair holds her head off to the side at all times, like she's slightly disappointed with your behavior. They've all got that ball hinge articulation that goes up and out and all around. And they've all got those single jointed, almost 90 degrees, round and round 360 elbows. Each figure has wrists that are on a peg hinge, so they go round and back and forth. And a basic tornado waist that goes round and round, but no ab crunch or any other articulation up in the torso. Simple, forwardy, backwardsy, city standy legs that don't go out, and they don't really go back that far because each character's buns get in the way. They've also all got basic single-jointed knees that don't even really do 90 degrees, but then again, I don't really think that kids are typically worried about that. And whether you're a him or a her, they've all got articulation at the top of the boot that rotates, unless of course you're Mary Marvel, in which case you have absolutely no articulation in the boots whatsoever. But all the rest have rotation at the top of the boot, just like that. Now, as for how these figures scale in comparison to other recent Mattel kid-oriented DC action figures, Batman from the Batman Missions, and this is Superman from the Dawn of Justice. I actually don't have any of the figures from Justice League from their kid-oriented line. I just never ended up picking any of them up. And my only other comparison will be with the Multiverse Shazam action figure. And it's nice to know that they didn't reuse any of the same sculpts. It's all completely new, except for the head. I mean, we know that that's just the exact same sculpt, painted different. But this will give you a pretty good idea that, yeah, you're probably not going to want to sub in your Multiverse Shazam and just buy these characters and hope they all look good together. They will be wildly out of scale with Billy. And I feel like it's worth noting that while this is still a very good offering, especially for the kid market, it's absolutely still worth picking up the Multiverse Shazam because this is the better of this figure in every single way. The color tone of the flesh and the suit, the painting detail, the sculpting detail, this really is an absolute better figure. But that doesn't mean that this one is still not excellent also. I just had to have them both. Alright, so at this point of the video, I would usually give you my ending spiel and tell you what I think and if it's worth trying to track these guys down in a Walmart or a Target or ordering them off Amazon or wherever. But before I do that, I want to let you know that all the imagery that you didn't see that you usually would have seen, which would have been all of the different body proportions and the slow-moving toe-to-head shots of these guys, you will see them now over my ending spiel. But if I did this video like I did my usual videos, this video would have taken probably about 50 minutes. So for time, I'm just going to put those images in here at the end. But now to the meat and potatoes. What do I think of them? Well, listen, if I was a 9-year-old, if I was a kid that saw the movie, that my mom or dad took me to go and see this movie, and then I saw these in the toy aisle, I would be all over them. These things would have been my jam as a kid. They're bright, they're colorful, they're actually sculpted really well, and Mattel really could have cheaped this out and given us the exact same male figure 4 times over with a different head, but they really didn't. They actually gave us different wrist bracers, different details on the figures themselves, different boots. I mean, Freddie and Billy do share a lot of the same parts, but honestly, I think these are fantastic for the price point of $9.99 American, and I think they're about $13 or $14 Canadian. I actually ordered these off Amazon. I left the ones on the pegs for the kids, and they got there too late to begin with anyway. But the face sculpts on these guys are fantastic. For the most part, you can actually tell what actor or actress they're trying to look like, except for Mary Marvel. That's not quite right. And if I'm being honest, the fact that her hair sits on her shoulder makes it so that her head's always kind of tilted to the side, which is also not quite right. I mean, let's be honest here. These figures weren't really intended for adult collectors. They know we're going to pick them up, and they do have us in mind, but these are really intended. Their target audience is the child. Children, imaginative play, and these do a fantastic job of fulfilling that need. Seriously, if I was a kid, I would have been all over these. Well, then again, I'm a grown-up and I'm all over these, so I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say here. These are fantastic, seriously. If you see these things on the pegs in your Walmart or Target or wherever, and you want them for yourself, or maybe you got some kids that you're trying to get into collecting action figures, or maybe they just don't have anything good because they have parents that don't buy them, so you buy them for your niece or nephew or whatever, do it! These are great! Action figures are the epitome and apex of all toys! Anyway, Super Friends, these are just the ideas, thoughts, and opinions of one adult collector, and I'm sure you're going to have your own. Please take the time to leave them down in the comments section below. If you did like this video, please leave a like on it. That way I know I'm doing something right. If you want to become a Super Friend, join the DC squad and see more of my hands and some of my face show up in your inbox, hit that red subscribe button, and if you do, ding the bell so that YouTube may actually notify you of when I upload a new video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a Shazammy day, Super Friends. Take care.